So recently I sent out a snap on my Snapchat advising people that now I do live one-on-one online coaching because of all the requests that I received through email to do this. And the first person, quite surprisingly, that reached out was our friend Richard, Vegan Gains. And you know, I was quite surprised because I've made 5 videos recently attacking this guy. And if you haven't seen those videos, you can access them in the 4 corners here. And then my beard contains the most recent video. And it was interesting because Richard, I mean, we already know that he masturbates a lot in his mom's basement, but his pain wasn't so much the excess masturbation, but whether he should go on NoFap to be able to grow a full beard like mine and a full head of hair. So he's afraid that the male pattern baldness that he's experiencing from, and you know, just the baby face sweetie pie beard, is because of his excess masturbation. Really interesting topic. Hasn't really been covered at all on YouTube or anywhere else. A lot of misinformation, a lot of myths involving this topic because a lot of bro science out there. So I thought, you know what? Let me ask Vegan Gains whether it's okay, if I have his permission, to make this video and share that 2 hours of coaching in a few minutes here so you guys can learn too. And he, again, quite shockingly agreed. What a nice person. Very different in person when you talk to him. Anyway, so thank you, Vegan Gains, for allowing me to share the knowledge that I shared with you. All right, so there's a lot to cover. There's probably gonna be another part to this video, or if I miss something, just post your comments below and I'm gonna answer it. So let's start with a little bit of the science of how beards and hair relate to testosterone and other androgens, right? So we know testosterone is an androgen, right? Testosterone receptors are androgen receptors. Androgen is just male hormone, yeah? So now, how does that relate to beard growth and male pattern baldness? Now, when you are in puberty, right? When you're young, you've entered the stage of puberty, testosterone levels correlate very highly with hair growth. And it's not just hair on the beard and the head, but it's hair all over the body. Now, what's interesting is that a baby has eyebrows, eyelashes, and has some hair on the head. So initially, obviously the baby doesn't have androgens. The baby doesn't have a surge of testosterone, but it does have some hair, right? And it has some amount of body hair. Now, that means that hair growth before puberty is not androgen dependent. It's not testosterone dependent. It's dependent on other things. But what we care about and what we're worried about is what happens during puberty and after. So during puberty, there's the surge of testosterone, and that is how we grow beards and hair on the head. Now, how does that actually happen? What is the mechanism? Turns out that there is a metabolite of testosterone known as 5-alpha dihydrotestosterone. So DHT, dihydrotestosterone, and it starts with 5-alpha. Now, 5-alpha DHT is what testosterone is converted to through an enzyme known as 5-alpha reductase. Now, you don't have to know these terminologies, obviously, for practical purposes, but I still want to say them because you might have heard these before, and I want you to go do your research as well. Okay? So, again, we have testosterone surging in the blood. 5-alpha reductase converts this testosterone into 5-alpha DHT, or dihydrotestosterone. That reaction right there, that conversion right there, happens in the beard. It happens in facial hair. That is how you have a beard, that conversion. Now, I'm gonna explain very soon how that relates to masturbation and why I explained all this to Vegan Gains, because it's very important to understand this, to understand how it relates to fapping. So the hair on the head, turns out, baldness, so male pattern baldness, MLP, MPB, I mean, is because of the same conversion. Testosterone gets converted to dihydrotestosterone using 5-alpha reductase in the head as well, and that is what causes baldness. Now, there are some people, men, you might be one of them, where genetically you are not predisposed to this effect. So a lot of people who have very high testosterone, the conversion from testosterone to DHT does not affect hair here, but it may affect the beard. So it's complicated. It's not so simple. There is genetic expression that has to happen. People have thought that there are these transcription factors. You might have remembered from high school biology that there's transcription that happens inside the cell, and then translation, then protein synthesis, then gene expression. So all of those steps is what requires phenotype. So phenotype is an actual beard or actual hair on the head. So this reaction sometimes will cause baldness, and sometimes it'll cause no baldness. Just depends on the genetic factors for that individual. So someone who's completely bald, it is because of androgens that he is bald. So if you're bald, it's because of androgens. If you're not bald, that means androgens just didn't cause baldness in you. It's just a genetic thing in that case. So what does all of this have to do with fapping and masturbation and so on? So we know fapping is a big thing, porn addiction is a big thing. Actually, the first video that I made about Vegan Gains, where I attacked the shit out of him, proved that he's a fucking retard. Oh, we're friends now, it's okay. I can say all this. You can access it here. That was when he talked about porn and was a lot of misinformation and was really saying stupid things to people. So I, talked about that. And fapping, porn addiction, all of these are really major things, and people always wonder what that has to do with growing a beard and the hair on the head. So here it is. When you masturbate excessively, so what I'm saying is like 2-3 times a day, all day, 7 days a week, like Vegan Gains does, right? And now he doesn't, because I kind of taught him a little bit, but I'll teach you too a little bit. Basically, if you masturbate, the ejaculation after your session causes an increase in DHT. Why? Because the ejaculate, the actual fluid, which consists of different chemicals, one of those chemicals, several of those chemicals, comes from the prostate gland. And when your prostate becomes empty because of ejaculation, DHT has to trigger the filling of those chemicals in the prostate again. So the prostate can have those chemicals for the next ejaculation. So that's why there's this upsurge in DHT. But that doesn't mean, just because DHT rises doesn't mean that you will have hair loss or you will be able to grow a beard. Doesn't mean that. Simply because we don't know whether the levels of DHT that increase because of a lot of ejaculation will cause hair loss or will cause hair gain on the face. We don't know that yet. Those studies have not been done. But I'm warning you, just like I told Vegan Gains, do not masturbate excessively. I'm begging you, stop masturbating so much. Go on NoFap if you have to, so you can cure your porn addiction and your masturbation. You will get a lot of great things in life through that. Now, if you want a video about NoFap and all the science of it, I've made several videos. Axel put them on the screen somewhere so they see it, those NoFap videos, so you can go to learn the science of NoFap there. So that is how things work. Now, if you want to kind of go deeper into the science, let me talk a little bit about that. So a hair is essentially an dead epithelial cell, right? So hairs on the body, on the head, these are just dead epithelial cells. They're just cells that protruded out of your skin. And there's two types. There's vellus and terminal. Okay, vellus are thin. They're not pigmented. They're when your hair turns gray. Terminal are those that stay thick, they're pigmented, and that's like when you have a full head of hair and when you have a full beard. That is terminal hair. So when you're born, your eyebrows and your eyelashes, these are terminal hairs. They're never gonna become thin, right? You're always gonna have these. But what happens with male pattern baldness is these terminal hairs, these thick hairs, turn into vellus hairs, these thin hairs, and that is what causes baldness. Now, I'm gonna get into the cures of all of these things very soon, and the science of all the chemicals that exist and all the therapies that exist, because I want you guys to know. And I was telling the same thing to Richard, Vegan Gains, because he was also very curious about what the solution is. What's the solution, doc? What's the solution, doc? So these are the two types of hair follicles. Now what happens is these hair follicles actually have androgen receptors on them. How amazing. These follicles on your skin, the root of your hairs, have androgen receptors that testosterone can actually bind to and do its thing. But remember, there are 3 steps. Testosterone itself, so androgens. There is the enzyme 5-alpha reductase that converts testosterone into DHT, or 5-alpha dihydrotestosterone, and then there's the DHT itself. So you have the receptor, you have testosterone itself, and then you have the actual enzyme that converts testosterone into DHT. So you have all of these things in place. So you cannot be like, oh, if I take a testosterone injection and put it inside my fucking face like Vegan Gains has been doing, actually. So dumb. Actually, he told me that he took hair from his fucking balls. He cut all the pubic hair and he was super gluing it to his face like a micrograft, you know, because he couldn't afford the actual surgery, so he was doing like weird shit like that. You know the dog that is in his video at the end sometimes? He was taking the fucking semen of that dog and ingesting it just to get more testosterone. I can't believe it. Anyway, he's not doing that anymore. I advised him, not to do that. Look, man, men do anything to become more manly, and I don't blame him, but he's not doing that shit anymore. Now, if we get back to the solution to all this, so you understand there's vellus and terminal follicles, and you do understand that there are these receptors. So any part of this pathway, so if you have testosterone deficiency, if you have receptor deficiency, if you have deficiency in this enzyme, all of these will play an effect on your beard growth as well as the head on your hair during puberty. Okay, and obviously there's genetics. Don't ever discount genetics. Okay, so some genes will regulate the beard growth, other genes will regulate the hair growth. That's why the same conversion, the same pathway will grow a beard, and the same pathway will make you bald. So it's a really, really interesting and really complicated, complex system here. Now, what are the solutions? So first of all, let me tell you that I understand that in society today, a lot of people love the full beard. A lot of girls are, just like running after guys with beards. I mean, I've gotten laid just because of my beard sometimes. And it's amazing, right? It's great. And it's just something I have. But a lot of guys want it, especially a lot of young guys that email me, Doc, how do I grow a beard like you? Doc, how do I grow a beard like you? Now, what you need to understand is that the link between androgens or testosterone and beard growth or even hair growth goes all the way back to Aristotle. Even Aristotle wondered about this, and he actually figured out that beard growth and hair loss have to do with the testes somehow. And you already know that that's where testosterone is produced. Now, there are certain solutions to this problem, okay? The first solution is surgery, right? Surgical stuff. So what you do is it's called a micrograft. You take hair you take follicles, these roots of the hair, from a part of your body that is always gonna be terminal hair. So for example, your pubic hair. You take that, so doctors would take that, like plastic surgeon would take that and put it on your beard. And that's your micrograft, and you're gonna grow a beard that way. Now those are obviously very expensive, and they're not, it's not foolproof, and you might have side effects. The second solution is, well, first of all, let me tell you some proof out there for this, what I'm discussing, some scientific proof, because then I can get into the solutions. One thing we know for sure is that if you castrate people, castrate boys, before puberty, they will not grow facial hair and they will not become bald. Okay, so we know these two things are androgen dependent. We also know that old men who take testosterone therapy, like a lot of testosterone injections and so on, they do start growing a beard and they do lose hair. So there is a link between testosterone and what I'm discussing. Okay, so there is some truth to all this. Now, we also know that there are actual chemicals that can alleviate these things in you, make your problems easier. So how? There's something known as minoxidil, okay? Minoxidil is actually used as a cure for hypertension. Hypertension is when your arteries are vasoconstricted, they're too small, so there's very high pressure, hypertension, so high pressure. And what minoxidil does is it vasodilates, it makes the arteries wider so more blood can pass through so you don't have hypertension. So minoxidil actually has a side effect, which is it grows hair on the head. It works with about 30% of the cases, it works partially, and at 10% it works fully. So again, this is going to be dependent on your genetics, but minoxidil is one cure. The second one is known as finasteride or dutasteride. So remember I talked about the 5-alpha reductase that is gonna make you bald because of the conversion from the enzyme? Turns out that finasteride is an inhibitor of 5-alpha reductase type 2. There's two types, type 1 and type 2. Type 2 is the one which is mostly implicated in baldness. So what finasteride does is it's an inhibitor of 5-alpha reductase type 2. Dutasteride is an inhibitor of 5-alpha reductase type 1 and type 2. So if you take either of these two, your conversion from testosterone to dihydrotestosterone will be less because that enzyme is inhibited, and you might grow some hair back. And this has also been shown, and a lot of people have grown their hair back. So these are some cures. Now, of course, stress levels, nutrition, having toxins in the environment, not exercising well, not sleeping well. All of these will cause some hair loss. They will cause shitty hair. So I remember when I was not as healthy as I am now, I used to have shitty hair. Go look at my old pictures. You'll see like baldness going on. It's like really nasty looking hair. And my beard looked all nasty and patchy. So for me personally, optimizing my health, optimizing my testosterone, doing tons and tons of research over the years has boosted my health. And obviously, you know, I have the fucking beard and full head of hair and so on. So yes, for me, optimizing health helped a lot. And if you want to get started on the plan that I used, you can get my free ebook. Axel put it on the beard somewhere here. So click on my beard to get that free ebook today so you can start figuring out the 5 factors killing your testosterone and how to fix them today. So that's gonna give you a lot of the health benefits and how to boost testosterone naturally and 100% foolproof, all based on science. Now, I told you I've started doing online coaching, just like Vegan Gains is my first client. Right now I have about 6 spots open. And if you are interested in one of these spots, email me right away so I will give you more information about the online coaching sessions. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna put up my Snapchat icon. So take a snap and add me on Snapchat. I talk about a lot of stuff in terms of nutrition, a lot of free advice, what I eat, the spice shots I take in the morning, supplementation, all of the science behind it. All day I'm snapping. So take advantage of that, add me on Snapchat. If you don't have Snapchat and you're a loser, no, if you don't have Snapchat, download it right away. It's an amazing app. You can stay in touch with me all day. And send me a snap when you add, letting me know that you are here and say hello to me. So that's it. Again, shout out to Vegan Gains, allowing us to share the coaching that I did with him in this video. And again, Richard, if you're listening, I'm sure you are. Listen, bro, just hang in there. I want you to stop, masturbating so much. Try to understand the reasons why you're masturbating. And you know what, bro? Even you who's listening to me right now, try to understand why you want to grow a beard. I mean, a lot of guys ask me, even when I'm walking around, hey, bro, let me borrow your beard, right? Try to understand why you want to grow a beard. Try to understand why you want to not be bald. Why is that? Is it because you want to get laid? Is it because you want to boost your self-esteem? What is it? You want validation? You want people to like you more? If it's any of that shit, you need to dig deeper and understand the real motivation of why you want to do all this. Okay? Because if it's for external reasons, external validation, it's not worth it. So please, I urge you, don't just go for the fads, don't just go for the trend, and try to dig deep and try to understand that you are perfect the way you are and you are enough. And I truly, truly believe that. So again, you'll see Snapchat icon at the end, add me. And if you want to get online coaching, email me. And again, actually, I'm going to post my email address here. You should see it now. And that is how you can reach me. So if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. I know it was long. If I missed something, put it in the comments. I will be sure to answer you in the next video or just the comments themselves. Share this with your friends. If you go down in YouTube, you're gonna see a share button. You click on that and you should share this on Facebook, actually. Add me on Facebook and tag me so I know you shared it, so I can thank you. And yeah, that's it. Comment below, let me know what you think about this video, if you agree in terms of what I said, especially the message I gave at the end. I would be really happy to hear from you. And subscribe to the channel so you can get more videos. There's gonna be a subscription button here somewhere so you can get more videos. And again, to get my free ebook, The 5 Factors Killing Your Testosterone and How to Fix Them Today, you should see the link right here. It'll be a card or annotation. So that's it, guys. And oh, by the way, as I'm pointing in different areas, if you're using mobile, you won't be able to actually see that because mobile doesn't show these annotations. So watch this video on your desktop so you can get the full effect, the full benefit. All right, guys, this is Doc Testosterone, and I will see you next time.